I believe that source does communicate to us, and I believe it communicates to us in two ways. One is the way you're talking about. I believe that those thoughts that you have, even though you might not attribute them to that source, those thoughts of, I don't want to harm another person, I actually believe that you were created with those thoughts, that those are, in essence, what, in a more poetic language, we would call angelic thoughts. But I also think there's demonic thoughts of people that have thoughts that tell them, take what you want. You know, who cares about that person?
And some of them even do that and,
within themselves.
And see their faith as a source for those.
No, exactly, because we're, yes, and
some people play with it.
And this is the mind can play big tricks on
very
us.
Cruel things happen
in the name of religion.
Yeah.
Yes, and very cruel things in the name of humanity. Secularism, if you look at the 20th century, it was not a religious century. It was actually the absence of religion. It was the first century in which Western man really threw off religion, and yet it's the bloodiest century in human history. We killed 180 million people were killed. I'm saying we human beings. 180 million, most of them civilians. Saturation bombing.
Collateral damage.
Collateral damage. Yeah. They didn't have nice euphemisms like that then. But
maybe so the difference is that you believe it could have been prevented by religion, and we do not believe that.
So what about the religious wars in the Middle Ages?
Yes, and I think that those are the absence of religion. I think when war, I only believe in a right to defend. I believe that I have a right, if you attack me, I feel that I have not only a right but an instinct that was put in me to defend myself against you. But then the challenge is, once I've overcome you, what do I do then? Do I take revenge? My religion says vengeance belongs only to God. It's not my business to take revenge. If God wants to take revenge, that's his business. My business is actually not to take revenge. And that's where my religion comes in. So I believe a lot of what you don't like about religion, I don't like about religion. Many of the things that you're telling me, I agree with you.
They are not religion. They are misinterpretations.
I think they're misunderstandings. But the same thing can be said about any system of belief. It doesn't have to be religion that causes these things. National Socialism, if you look at what Hitler wanted to do, he wanted everybody to have food on the table. He wanted all the Germans to have cars. He had the Volkswagen made. Volkswagen, the car for the people. He was a vegetarian. He liked children. Do you know, he had a sense of humor. Yeah, German children, you see. So he wasn't being compelled by a religious, he was being compelled by a nationalistic ideology. I don't think it's wrong to want good for your people, but at the expense of other people, I think there's a problem there. But it wasn't religion that did that to him. It was actually, I would say, in essence, the absence of religion.
بالذات لو قلت لهم على هتلر انه هذا ما هو دين لكن وضر الناس فمش الدين اللي بيضر هو الانسان اللي بيضر وهذا باسم الدين او باسم غير الدين.
باسم غير الدين.
ألان وكارولاين الاثنين دول تحديدا والولد اللي كان لابس
مثقفين شكلهم
مثقفين وهم كمان كانوا مشدودين جدا للحوار لانه حسوا انه في حاجه هم ممكن يقربوا منها اكتر.
يا ريت كنت يعني you give them مثلا your contact or يعني they need to know more كده.
And I think that those feelings that you have, Elaine, those feelings that you have are actually religious feelings. That's how I see them. I mean,
But on the other hand, if I were a woman and I went to Islam, I would have difficulties because I would not be allowed the same rights as I have now. I mean,
that's a cultural religion.
It's much harder for me.
Yeah, that's a cultural religion. I would say that wasn't true in the Islamic religion. I think that women, what's happened to women in the Muslim world has more to do with the culture of the Muslim world than it does. I mean, I have a wife who's from California. She's a Muslim. She grew up in California. My sister became Muslim. We grew up in a very progressive, liberal, humanistic family.
It's difficult for us, I think, to see the difference between the cultural religion, as you name it, and the real
from God, from Allah.
Because
this is a big problem. Because
many Muslims do not
They don't
separate
distinguish.
these. No.
Absolutely. It's a big
That's
problem.
why. And the impression that we have now is that Islam is getting more radical now
More
than
radical. Yeah.
compared to 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the conditions in the Muslim world are also more extreme. The poverty is more, the oppression. Also, if you look at what's happened in just our lifetimes, we watched the Chechen people bombed mercilessly by the Russians. Nobody really did anything. We watched Bosnia happen. All those women that got raped. Nobody really did anything. We watched.
But you don't want revenge from...
I agree with you, but humans are humans.
Yeah,
and
but-
see, revenge is a very natural instinct in many people. And
Yeah,
for
because
me,
that's what frightens me, you know, because I have nothing to do with... I don't want the Chechens to be bombed, but I can't help it.
and so if
And I don't
somebody
want to
comes
be-
and blows you up,
Yeah, I would want to
thinking
be the
that
object
you're
of
the
revenge.
enemy, you don't want to be the object
No,
of revenge.
no.
And you shouldn't be, and I don't believe you should be. And what we're trying to do, I mean, and part of even what we're trying to do in this program is to help Arab youth understand that you're not the enemy.
I mean, I live in Brussels, I live between...
You're not the enemy, you know. But unfortunately, humans, you know, we have very primitive. We have 3 brains in here. We have what they call the reptilian brain in neurology, right? I mean, I have a medical background. We have a reptilian brain. They call it the R stem, and then we have a midbrain, which is shared by like dogs and cats. And then we have a neocortex. Unfortunately, that reptilian brain overrides the what they call the neocortex, the latest part of the brain, which is what humans have that other animals don't have. Once you move into that animalistic behavior, it overrides. I mean, look.
So when morality is
try
situated in the third brain, or
Right.
yeah,
Morality is in the neocortex.
We as...
Yeah, it's in the third brain. And the revenge is in that first brain. It's a reptilian instinct.
Yeah, but
an
I
animal,
always-
if you hurt an animal, it lashes. Go ahead, sorry.
No, sorry. I always try to have my rational brain overpower my instincts, my instinctive feeling. Because, I mean, I live in Brussels. I mean, I've been robbed as well. And first reaction is I want this person to be executed, you know? First reaction. But after...
No, that's honesty.
Gut feeling. I mean,
that is a gut feeling.
I was-
Somebody runs you off the road, you want to smash their
I was
car.
shocked by my own thoughts. I did not say executed, but I said punished, you know?
Yeah.
10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes you start thinking calmly. And I always try to believe that rational
Yeah.
thoughts should, in the end, overcome, you know?
Overcome.
The story about Qala Qabilt when he stole his stuff from the river.
Yeah.
You know,
We
I mean-
have a famous story of a Muslim. His name was Abu Yazid al-Bustami. He was in a hammam, you know, where they go to wash.
Yeah.
And all his clothes and his money was in a little box. Somebody came and stole it. And he saw the man steal his things, and he put on his clothes, and he put on the towels, and he ran after him. And the thief saw him, he got afraid, he was running faster. He finally caught him, and he said, "Don't be afraid. I just wanted to say, you can have my things. I don't want you to steal."